Namo Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Om. Salutations to Bhagavan Ramakrishna. Suresh, Chandra, Datta. We've seen one of these householder disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. He had another unique distinction, this householder disciple, that from a very early, you can say, stage in spiritual life, he came in touch with another great householder disciple called Durga Charan Nag or Nag Mahashai. We've seen his life. What a wonderful life he had. Swami Vivekananda himself says, I have traveled far and wide, but I have never seen a great soul like Nag Mahashai. Now, this is an amazing, you can say, statement. We can understand, here's a person like Swami Vivekananda himself evaluating another soul like Nag Mahashai. And Suresh Chandra Datta, he associated with him all his life, since the time he met this saint. So one time, they had both gone to Dakshineshwar. It's a hot summer month, somewhere in 1883. And they had taken all the trouble to go to Dakshineshwar to meet Sri Ramakrishna, whom they had heard of. Now, when they came to Dakshineshwar, they saw a man sitting very sedately, calmly, with a long beard and probably with a long rosary doing japa, outside Sri Ramakrishna's room. And they asked him, have you seen, sir, where is the saint of Dakshineshwar, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? So he said, oh no, today he has left, he has gone to Chandan Nagar. There's a place near Calcutta. And they were so dejected. It was hot, they were tired, hungry. They were about to return home. When they peeped in the room inside and they saw somebody beckoning. They go inside. It was Sri Ramakrishna himself sitting there. Hazra, that supposedly saintly person doing a lot of spiritual practices, used to kind of feel jealous because people used to go to Sri Ramakrishna, not to him. And he used to think like, there's something called the imposter syndrome. And you see, Sri Ramakrishna was not rattled by, come in. It also happens with us. We want to seek something and we go towards it, and then the last moment we are kind of distracted or deflected or obstructed by something, and we lose heart. We shouldn't, because the call has been genuine. It's just a question of biding your time. So they came to Sri Ramakrishna's room, and then Sri Ramakrishna, they were delighted, of course, and Sri Ramakrishna asked them. And he said, go and meditate. Here, if you tell the visitors, Now you go and meditate. They will say, what meditation? You come here to chat. But Sri Ramakrishna used to gauge people by their depth of meditation. He could tell, okay, these guys have got something solid in them. And then he tells both of them that live in the world like a mudfish. There is nothing wrong in staying at home. The mudfish lives in the mud but is not soiled by it. Similarly, live in this world but don't get contaminated by its evils. And then he takes them out, leads them to all the temples, the 12 Shiva temples. There were these 12 Shiva temples. And he goes to each temple and he prostrates. And Nag Mahashaya followed suit because he was of the devotional temperament. Suresh Chandra Datta, he wasn't. He was, something always holds you back. So what kind of this display of this emotion or whatever. And so from there, Sri Ramakrishna leads them to the Krishna temple, and then he takes them to the Kali temple. And there they see a profound change in Sri Ramakrishna. As if he's like just a child, and he's gone to see the mother and kind of holding the mother. And and then he circumambulated, he prostrated. And they were so kind of struck with his behavior. Actually, like a child has gone to see its mother. It's seeing its mother after a long time. And then you find. So, Sri Ramakrishna told them to come back again, saying, see, when we are just newly acquainted, we need to kind of meet often. That was the first meeting. During the second meeting, the both had gone together. And there, Sri Ramakrishna goes in an ecstatic state. And he says something. You have done well in coming here. I have been waiting here for you for a long time. This, now, it's like, it's just 1 week and that they had gone first. Waiting for a long time? No. Look at it from the mystical kind of way. That reality or the God had been waiting for you for a very long time. We had been moving all around this world, as they say, this fair, country fair, going around in the merry-go-round and this and that. And so, yeah. And so he said, okay, go and meditate. And then again, they meditated for half an hour. He gave Nag Mahashaya, Sri Ramakrishna, a small errand. And then he tells Suresh, did you see him? He is like a blazing fire. So Sri Ramakrishna had recognized Nag Mahashaya. It's like a blazing fire. Even Holy Mother, towards the end, she says, many children have come here, but none like this child of mine. So, and this was Nag Mahasaya's inner spirituality. So Suresh Chandra Datta, who was born in 1850 in West Calcutta, in a place called Hatkola. And he was from a kind of aristocratic family. And he had heard about Sri Ramakrishna because he used to frequent at Brahmo Samaj of Keshav Chandra Sen. So he knew it from Keshav Chandra Sen. Durga Charan Nag, that Nag Mahashaya, had come from what is called Bangladesh now. That was East Bengal. He had come because he was supposed to study medicine. But he was so weak in English, and to improve his English, he had got a grammar book, etc. and he was also studying homeopathy. And so the knowledge of English was indispensable. So you learn. And he used to pronounce English words in the typical East Bengal way with a very thick accent. And Suresh Chandra Datta, oh, you pronounce words wrongly. So Suresh used to help him with his pronunciation because he had a very good command of English. Suresh used to go to Durgacharan's Nag because now they were living in the neighborhood. They got together and he used to go to, he was a staunch follower of Brahmo Samaj, believing in the formless God. And Durgacharan Nag Master, was a firm believer in God with form. And they used to, daily, they used to argue. But the argument was not kind of very caustic or something like that. It's just like, it's just discussion. Nagmasha says, the gods and goddesses as well as the formless Brahman are all true. But to attain Brahman is so difficult, I doubt whether 1 or 2 in a million can ever reach this stage. Hence arises the necessity to believe in the various gods and goddesses. Do you think that the Vedas, the Puranas, Tantras and Mantras are false? And Suresh retorted to him. He used to call him uncle. Uncle, set aside your scriptures. I have no faith in them. So this was Suresh Chandra Datta. So from time to time, he used to take his uncle, Nag Mahasaya, to the Brahmo Samaj. And part of their spiritual discipline was meditate. And not only there in the temple, but even meditate on the banks of the Ganges. And sometimes the whole night. And he used to do that. And it was here that he saw that uncle of his very intense. You know, Durgacharan Nag was very intense in everything he said and did. And that's one of the hallmarks of a spiritual person, that the focus, the concentration on even the smallest tasks are intense. And so he's saying, why don't we go to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa? Because he saw that he wanted a guru. That is, Nag Mahasaya wanted a guru. Because, you know, when you are so intense, you need guidance. So that's how they had both come to Dakshineshwar and they had met him a couple of times. So Suresh Chandra Datta, he, with Nag Mahasaya, he went to Sri Ramakrishna about 9 times. But that was only recorded there along with Nag Mahasaya. But he went many times because one of the very first books on Sri Ramakrishna's teachings was compiled by Suresh Chandra Datta. The first book came as a kind of a compilation of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings by Keshav Chandra Sen himself, and which was later expanded by one of his followers, Girish Chandra Sen. And then Suresh Chandra Datta, he compiled his teachings. And one time, Sri Ramakrishna was alive then, of course. Sri Ramakrishna is saying, hey Suresh, I heard that you published something. You published teachings about this place. You know, he used to say this place, not me. Suresh immediately he offered that book, that published book, and placed it at his feet. Saying, then Master said, read it out to me. And when Suresh read what was published, he said, okay, you have recorded things correctly. So that was a kind of a green signal, because Sri Ramakrishna was very careful about what things people write about him. So subsequently he published the second part, etc. And then total he had 6 parts that volume. So it came out in Sri Ramakrishna Upadesha. It has not been translated, but it's in the process of being translated. The third recorder of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings was Chandra Datta. As we've seen, that one of the another householder disciples. The fourth was M, whom we also have seen his life. And the fifth was Swami Brahmananda Raja. That was also a compilation of his teaching. But and then we know that Swami Sharadananda wrote extensively a biography on Sri Ramakrishna. So he was instrumental in spreading Sri Ramakrishna's teachings via his literature. And he used to also distribute copies free. Now, it was during this time that he never had a kind of a great job, but he got an offer to go to act as a kind of a clerk in one of these military offices in what is called Quetta. Now, Quetta is a place which is in Pakistan now, which is part of that whole Indian subcontinent, and which is close to the Afghan border. And it was during the colonial times, the British had waged one of the first wars with the Afghans. So it's a Anglo-Afghan war. And they were just pouring in money for the war effort. So he was in one of these, working in the offices, and they were told, don't scrutinize any bills or any requests that come. Just pass it, because they don't want to hold up any kind of logistics for the war. So his superior, an officer, one time he put a kind of a false invoice. And Suresh, he saw it and he objected. The officer threatened him. Now he was stuck. What to do? Then he goes to a medical officer. He was a Britisher. And the medical officer knew his truthfulness. So he kind of says that this person is unfit for military service. He dismissed. His replacement came in. So that time he had about 20 rupees, like say it's $20. So he started for Calcutta from Quetta. Now it's a very long journey by train. So he stopped at Varanasi, he spent all his money, whatever he had. Now he was out of money. And now he has to go to Calcutta. He started walking from Benares. He has to go. And he depended on people on the way to give him food. And he slept out sometimes in the temples under the shade of the trees and all. We kept walking. Then he came to a place called Bhagalpur. That's okay. So from Benares to Calcutta, the distance is about 500 miles. Midway, he had come to a place where somebody felt kind of pity on him, and they gave him a train ticket to come to Calcutta. And he came here, and when he returned, he was exhausted. So both of them, Durgacharan and Nagmasha, they went to Sri Ramakrishna. Durgacharan Nagmasha was insistent that you should get initiation. Why you don't get to get? So he's saying, I don't believe in all these mantras and all these things. I don't have faith in that. And then, so he said, okay, we'll go to Sri Ramakrishna, let him decide what is good. So they both go. And then in the course of the conversation, tells So Sri Ramakrishna, yeah, Durgacharan, what he says is right. You need initiation, you need a mantra. A person should practice spiritual disciplines under the instructions of a guru. What prevents you from admitting it? So he had said, I'd have no faith in mantras. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, all right, don't worry about it now. It will come in time. So, and we have seen when he was there, now the desire to get initiated has becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. After that, he has come, he is without a job, without anything. He was selling potatoes door to door in Calcutta. Not in Calcutta, not in the neighborhood and all. We'll say, what happened to him? So he goes to another place in the neighborhood and door to door. And he kept this up for some time. And he used to carry that sack of potatoes on his back and go door to door selling it. And otherwise, people say, what? So he used to wear kind of, shabby clothes and all during that time. And then when he finished the work, he used to put on his fresh clothes and come back home. His family never realized what work he's doing. So they were kind of getting some money. And then after some weeks, he found a job. So fine, okay. Now, then there was an essay competition. There was a kind of Lipton tea. You have still that Lipton tea had started then, tea company, and they had had an essay competition. And Suresh had written a nice essay, and they were thrilled with that essay. Oh, because that's a time when they were promoting tea drinking. You see, the Britishers had kind of pinched those tea plants from China and they bought it, and they wanted to make it profitable. And then it did become very profitable, tea. So they offered him a prize for that. And not only that, offered him a job also. And he said, okay, fine. And he kept on working for the Lipton Tea Company. And during that time, one of his superiors is saying, we don't need to give them the pure stuff. Adulterate the tea with something. And he again objected to it. No, I'm not going to do it. And then he resigned from that job. So this happened quite often because of his truthfulness, he had to suffer. But he stuck to truth. So one day Sri Ramakrishna, by that time Sri Ramakrishna had got his throat cancer. He was shifted to Kashipur. So he had gone to see Sri Ramakrishna. It was 1886. And then he sees, your friend, where is he? Nag Mahasaya, tell him to see me. And we know that Nag Mahasaya did go there, and he's saying, can you do something about it? Saying, and Nag Mahasaya had had gone into a high state. Yes, I will do it. He knew that it is incurable. He was a very good homeopathy doctor, but he knew that the cancer is incurable. So what he was doing is, through his willpower, he wanted to absorb Sri Ramakrishna's cancer in his own body. Sri Ramakrishna, he looked at him, he was coming. I know you can do it, don't. There. So, looking at Sri Ramakrishna's state of health, Suresh he wanted initiation, but now you're now stuck with Sri Ramakrishna, this state of health, and he was diffident in asking of him. After that, Sri Ramakrishna, as we know, he passed away. And he was lamenting when there was a chance to get initiated to him. And he was day and night and weeping on the banks of the Ganges. One time he was weeping, he fell asleep, and then it was dawn. He woke up. He saw Sri Ramakrishna emerging from the Ganges, the spiritual body of Sri Ramakrishna emerging from the birth. And he was so thrilled. Sri Ramakrishna gave him a mantra. And when he was about to make his obeisance to Sri Ramakrishna disappeared he disappeared. So he got the mantra finally from Sri Ramakrishna himself in that vision. And he kept on now his spiritual practices. He kept in touch with Swami Vivekananda as well as all the other disciples, and they used to visit the first monastery. This went on for years. He working in odd jobs at times. But now his spiritual practices had really taken off in full steam. Once a year on Sri Ramakrishna's birthday, there used to be a celebration, and he used to offer sweetened yogurt. One time, he found he had no money. In the meantime, his wife and daughter that he had passed away. So he took his deceased wife's jewelry and to pawn it, to sell it off, so that he could get some money to offer sweetened yogurt to Sri Ramakrishna on his birthday. So this was his dedication. He used to visit everybody, you say. One time, there was another disciple of Swami Vivekananda called Chandra. He wanted to get initiation, and he had to come early in the morning. Not initiation, a kind of a worship, ritual worship. And Swamiji had dissuaded Chandra, saying, it's not possible, you're going to come all the way. You're going to arrange. When Suresh heard about this, he arranged everything. And when Swamiji's disciple reached the monastery, and Swamiji was surprised. Oh, you've not done this. Somebody else has managed the whole thing. Who has managed? Then he was told it was Suresh who had managed everything. And Swamiji said, with tears in his eyes, said, look, he whom the master has touched has become gold. So this was Suresh Chandra Datta. He kept in touch with he went through all these bereavements, but yet he kept his faith in Sri Ramakrishna and in the mantra. It was beyond the gaze of the public. He led a very intense spiritual life. And this is what happens. When you lead an exclusively spiritual life, you kind of shun the public gaze. You just want to be with your own thoughts, because now your own thoughts are the thoughts of God. And that's very important. You don't want the world, the cacophony of the world to kind of disturb. So you think that you are thinking of yourself. No, you're thinking of God. And he went like this for years and years. And though he lived his life, the entire life, at home, he served everybody, and especially the monks, etc. And he was a householder, a typical householder. He had all the qualities, but of the best of the monastics, like non-attachment, purity, unselfishness, truthfulness, and love for God. So these are the outcome of spiritual thought. When you think of spirituality, these things come as a natural, you can say, in the natural course of things. These things. And he was there. So he died, Suresh Chandra Datta died in 1902. 1912. So, how did he die? Well, the way he lived, he died like that, taking the name of God, because that's how he received it. And this is also something that we need to, when the time comes, you will get it. There is no need for hurrying. So in his case, we see Sri Ramakrishna had tried to persuade him, yeah, it's necessary for you to get initiation. But he said, you have no faith. All his life's experiences, it had to come to that stage where the faith that he had in the world had to be broken. The world is stable, the world is moral, the world is there for you, the world will give you everything you want. That has to be broken, and that broke. And then his faith in the efficacy of spiritual life grew. Then he wanted a mantra, and then the mantra comes to him in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna came and gave the mantra. That is one of the most ideal ways of getting initiated. The very aspect of God that you are going to meditate on appears to you. This is the mantra. So it's now very easy to meditate. You know the form, now you know the name. So this was Sri Ramakrishna's grace on this householder disciple of his. So as we have said, he lived away from the gaze of the public. When Sri Ramakrishna passed away, he lived. Though they used to go, both of them used to go. His association with Nahag Mahasaya is what steadied him. He used to serve Nahag Mahasaya, his uncle, help him in every way possible. Because Nahag Mahasaya, he was a saint par excellence. He has gone beyond all parameters of what a saint or what a sage should be. And we have seen his life in one of our previous installments. Amazing. So this was what held him. He's seen that intensity of spirituality in his uncle. So, as I said, while chanting the master's name, Suresh passed away on November 18, 1912. Thus came into this kind of brilliant life of his. Om, peace, peace, peace. The announcements, Sunday, we have the birthday of Swami Advaitananda, one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. He was a householder, but he had taken monastic vows. Suresh Chandra was a householder, but he did not take monastic vows. So it's his birthday, and so we are going to read about him. The transformation of Swami Advaitananda. And we also have Ram Nam in the evening, Sunday, 7 o'clock. And Mother's Children, of course, in the morning, 9:50. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.